Roads are being done according to the need. So we introduced what we call the low volume seal program, whereby in the rural areas, for example, where the traffic is not as heavy, we introduced the low volume seal program, which serves the county, the rural counties very well, but also is very cost effective.
Usikumbushe mimi maneno ya zamani, ilikuwa mbaya kabisa.
Tangu mimi nisaliwe sijaona lami.
Zamani watu walikuwa hajai kuona kitu kama hii nyeusi. Walipoweka walikuwa nasuka wanasema hii ni nini nyeusi imewekwa kwa njia.
This would have been unimaginable a few years back, thanks to the Kenya Rural Roads Authority for making this possible.
If you look back at our plans in the last, say, 8 years, we did recognize that road infrastructure is basically the most important issue, facing the entire country, because this is an area which touches on every citizen of this country. And so when we got into office, we did realize there was a very big deficit since 1900, if you like. And so we got into a plan to make sure that no county was going to be left behind. And we gave ourselves a target of 10,000 kilometers to be done within a period of 10 years.
When you consider our whole network in the whole country, I'm talking of classified road network, which is in excess of 160 kilometers, we only had a paved network of about 10,000. And most of the unpaved roads were falling under Kenya Rural Roads Authority. Then there was a need that these roads are paved so that you can guarantee accessibility. Some critical roads were looked into that required prioritization to be paved. So it was all over the country. So that is how priorities were chosen, and we went into that program of LVSR, that is low volume seal roads.
The low volume seal basically means that the roads that we are doing now were roads that were initially built up to gravel standards. So in this case, the roads that we are doing are meant for low traffic, lower axle loads, so that they are able to be motorable throughout.
And therefore, in 2017, Kenya Rural Roads Authority embarked on the low volume sealed roads 10,000 program.
We, as government, decided to make sure that we do the best we could to close that gap. And so we got into a very, very aggressive, if you like, a strategy to create a road network across the country, the entire 47 counties. Because if you do road network in one county, it actually deprives the country this connectivity, which is very, very important. And so we got into a plan to make sure that no county was going to be left behind.
There was a need to do the 10,000 kilometers, and this 10,000 kilometers was arrived at that we wanted to double up the network. So a critical network of 10,000 was chosen, spread all over the country, so that it can be paved. And the reason as to why it is low volume seal roads, the conventional way of doing the roads is that it costs about approximately 80 million per kilometer. So the issue was reduced by half the cost, but without compromising the purpose.
Ease of transport is a daily necessity for many Kenyans and impacts on their livelihoods greatly.
The travel times between the connection points where these roads were actually targeting has really gone down. We've reduced the travel times. And what I've actually again noticed, there is the coming up of the centers along the roads now we've been able to do. There are a lot of commercial centers now coming up because we've been able to assess and give connection to these centers.
The main focus was on the rural areas, because the rural areas, that is where most of the produces that are feeding the country are coming from. So the government wanted to make sure that they're improving roads which are accessing these rural areas where now the producers can reach the market centers and other people.
This was a countrywide project aiming to transform rural areas everywhere.
In Bomet County, we had 360 kilometers We are running on this program of the roads 10,000.
There has been a total of about 14 low-volume seal projects that has been launched in the region of Meru.
This road is like a bypass. Actually, it starts all the way from Emali, all the way to Suswa. And anybody driving from Mombasa Road, if you have no business in Nairobi and you're going to Western Kenya, can use all the way from Emali through Maroro, Mashuru, up to Suswa, and you go do your business the other side.
Kilgoris, Saratuka to Dikir Road. The road is 43 kilometers from Kilgoris to Emurua Dikir, and it traverses through quite a rolling terrain.
This road links A7 and the A8. A7 is the road from Mombasa, Malindi to Karsen, and the A8 is the road from Mombasa to Nairobi.
This road rises strategically and it cuts across 3 counties. That is Uasin-Gishu, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Trans Nzoia counties.
Kerogoya, Rotue, Kiandieri, and Kutus, Kianyaga, Gedore.
This road is 38.2 kilometers from Inamoi to Barwesa, one of the areas with a lot of potential in terms of animal killing and crop production along the Kerio Valley.
The main function of the Lesami-Sunkurunit Road is to provide access to social amenities and hospital for the local community.
The program's intention was to transform the socio-economic aspects of rural residents' lives.
There were some times when you had either famine in the northeastern area, and you go to places like Nyahururu, where you find that there are products, cabbages, etc., which were either rotting, because of inaccessibility. So you'd find that you are going to foreign donors to bring certain products, while we've got these other things, we've got the products here.
Mimi ni mfanyabiashara ya kuuza cabbage na vitunguu na viazi, na soko yangu inakuwa ni Malaba hapa, na pia ninapeleka mazao yangu mpaka Busia. Sisi tulikuwa na shida sana kusafirisha hii mizigo mpaka hapa Malaba. Kule nyuma hapo barabara hiyo ilikuwa inatatiza, mboga inaoza, viazi inaoza, lakini saa hii tunakuja kwa saa na tunakuja kutumia wateja wetu, tunawapea kabichi kwa wakati ile inatakana.
Tukitoka kwa shamba unavuna manyanya yako, mboga, unaweka kwa gari, transport imekuwa ni rahisi.
Napata vitu na wakati, unaenda na wakati, na unaleta mali na wakati. Hata kwa mfano kuna vitu umeodeshwa, unavituma na vinakuja vikiwa salama, na hapo hapo unaendeleza biashara. Lakini zamani kwanza ulikuwa unaweza tuma kitu kikakwama huko kwa sababu pengine kumenyesha, unatazamia ule wakati wa kuenda urudi kwa haraka, unapata umechelewa.
Kabla barabara haijatengenezwa kulikuwa kubaya sana, lakini siku hizi huwa tunakuja mara kwa mara, tukichukua vyakula tunapeleka sehemu mbalimbali, na tumeona ya kwamba hii barabara imetusaidia sana.
Ninatoa biashara yangu barabara ya kutoka Kwale kuja ya Kinango, ninafuata hizi mikeka, ninakuwa rahisi yangu kwa sababu barabara ni nzuri. Mbeleni hii ilikuwa vibaya, hata unaweza kuwa unataka kwenda kwa biashara na ukifika njiani unakwama na gari, lakini saa hii ni nzuri, unatembea kwa mara moja kwenda kuchukua mali. Kama unaenda masokoni, unaenda kwa urahisi, unarudi kwa haraka.
Construction of this road by the Kenya Rural Roads Authority has led to the growth of small businesses like here in Malomani, Kwale County, improving the quality of their lives as well as boosting businesses and industries in the areas.
Sisi kama vijana wengi tulikuwa idle, na vile hii barabara ilianza, tulipata kazi hii miaka 3 ambayo hii barabara ilikuwa inatengenezwa. Tumekuwa busy sana hapa na kazi, so kwanza sisi tunashukuru sana, tukiwa vijana tunasema asante sana serikali.
Barabara inapitika vizuri wakati wa mvua, wakati wa jua, na maintenance ya gari inakuwa chini, so the cost of business iko chini, na sasa profit margin inakuwa juu kidogo.
Wamama amefurahia, hata mapunda leo amepumzika. Tukipata hii pikipiki ama ukipata pickup anakupelekea mahindi mpaka Kilgoris. Kwa hivyo biashara imekuwa kitu ya maana sana.
Mambo ya katika uchumi, biashara zetu zimepanuka vizuri, zinaendelea vizuri kwa sababu gari ni nyingi, watu wanasafiri vizuri. Kwa hiyo tunashukuru kwa hilo.
Tunafurahi kwa hii barabara ya Kachibora, Kapcherop, Moiben imetufungulia hii mwichi.
We are opening up the rural areas where now the producers will be able to come from these rich areas to go to the market centers, the towns. So the other impact which we have is the standards of living will change. The lands will improve, and of course the general environment, people are going to change their lifestyle.
The road has also enhanced social integration, so people are able to interact. And that, I think, in our country, we have the bid for integration. We want to bring harmony in the country. So bringing people together, they are able to have functions. In the event, the people are able to move and they can do it together.
For the livestock keepers, it is now very easy for the buyers of livestock to come and access their animals. The other thing is that for the government and other county government and other agencies, it is easy for them for now to deliver services up to the mwananchi doorstep.
It has immense, enormous economic potential in terms of facilitating that tourists into Savo East National. So it's a critical tourist circuit.
The project has improved access to health facilities for the community. For market, people can even now go for tourism towards Loyangalani, Tungurunit. And besides that, it has improved security inwards because the response time for security agencies has been reduced.
Before this road was done, there was a lot of insecurity around the Esoit area. That is, there were a lot of clashes between the Maasai and the Kipsigis people, and sometimes it was very difficult for the police to come and rescue the victims. But now, with the road in place, of late we have not had any clashes because they know the police are within reach.
With over 60% of the program complete, everything is on course to transform rural Kenya.
This program started off in 2016-2017 with the current government. It was a very good, ambitious program. To date, we are happy to report that we have commitments in excess of 8,000. To be precise, now it's about 8,250. Then we have completed about 4,100, which is approximately 50% of the same. So we are targeting to complete them in the next, the target was by next year 2022, by end of next year. But all along, to give ourselves our own marking scheme, I think we have done our best based on the current constraints.
All the projects that were earmarked for upgrading to bitumen standard have been done. They are at different stages. Some have been completed like this one. The others which are still ongoing.
We've been able to successfully manage to complete 200 kilometers of these roads.
The total length of this road is around 190 kilometers, but the ones which was upgraded to bitumen standard by KERRA is 106.67 kilometers.
In this region, we have almost over 400 kilometers of road in the last 2-3 years.
In Kwale County, we have a total of 163.2 kilometers of roads being upgraded to low volume seal roads. So the connectivity of towns and trading centers very soon is going to be with a seamless connectivity.
Invariably, programs of this magnitude come with a set of challenges along their course.
When a road is done, then you'll find those who are harvesting sand or other products overload their vehicles and actually pass through roads, which is a big challenge for us now. We are instituting certain ways in which to restrict or to control the uses of the roads. No? A pavement can be destroyed in one day, no? If you overload it. So when you see low volume C roads, no, it means we are guided by the weights that are going to be on the road. No? Of course, for the ordinary person, when he sees a sealed road, no, a blacktop, then he thinks that the road is there, so he'll bring any sort of equipment on it. No? People have to be educated. No? That is part of it, and I think that's what you are doing now, is publicity to the people.
The people that live in that area are actually nomadic, so they don't understand the value of having a national road. So they have been sabotaging the operation most of the time, but with time we managed to penetrate in and created friends. The elders are actually currently working with us.
The challenge of the drainage works is because of the power posts that are still yet to be relocated by Kenya Power. And the resident engineer has engaged the relevant authorities, and it is work that is in progress. However, we must admit that it has taken quite long.
This area is very dry. It's difficult to get the water. Also, it's difficult to get the material for sub-site base. For example, we get this material from Malikupura and Nyango, which one is more than 30 kilometers far.
Being a coastal region, we have a lot of sandy soils. There's a black cotton if you can look around. So sourcing of materials has also been an issue.
Nonetheless, the program forges on, contributing towards the Big Four agenda and our Vision 2030.
We have actually accessed, like in the Big Four agenda, you could see our priorities is that if there are any of the institutions which are all along, be it the healthcare facilities, we have access to them. And then in the production industry, you could even see like in the food security, we have accessed many of the agricultural rich areas. That is now where you have evacuation of food. So about resource and all that it takes to even industrialization, we have accessed those sites. And even some of the industries have sprung up. Even some roads when we did them, then later on there's a lot of industries which have come up, which calls us even to go and strengthen some sections. So in essence, we have spurred our economic development, and then we have enhanced our connectivity in the whole country.
The first attempt to construct a bridge across Sabaki River at this place called Baricho was in 1981. And that effort was not realized. This is one of the major structures being implemented by KERRA. This bridge is critical in linking two major roads. The road from Sabaki to Marekebuni to Marafa, going to Sosoni up to Baricho. Then it will be linked to with the road of Malindi Salaket. And the economic development of this area will grow, because this has been a missing link for all the time. And the dormancy we are seeing here in this neighborhood is because of lack of this critical link.
Given the impact of the LVSR 10,000 program, it is not hard to imagine how much more growth and development can be stimulated in rural areas with more investment in their road infrastructure.
Vile sasa hata uchukuzi, bodaboda imekuwa mingi, magari imekuwa mingi. Kitu kama hiyo sasa ya mtu hajafika hospitali kwa ile saa inafaa, hiyo imekuwa kitu ya sahau kabisa.
Gharama ya biashara sisi huku imeanza kwenda chini. For example, kama hizi matatu ingesidi kwenda kushinda kwa garage the whole day. Baada ya kutoka Kapchorop labda kwenda Eldoret ama kutoka Kapchorop kwenda Kitale. Baada hiyo anaenda garage. Lakini saa hizi hawa madrivers wetu hata unakuta wengine wanafaa suit wakienda.
Vifaa vyetu ambavyo natoka milima ile yote nafika pale ya mauzo market bila matatizo.
I would see Kenya as a country where there's a lot of mobility, there's connectivity, and then we are able also to exploit all the resources that they are all there in the country. I will tell you, everywhere has its own gold. Even if the dry lands you're talking about, it supplies us most of the meat. to the urban areas. As you can see the rain areas, you will not get stuck on some of those what it used to be. All this will spur economic development. Yes, and you can see also the interrelated intermodal transport. When we are talking of now the road, there's also the rail, of course the air transport for those far, but the rail and the road is combining itself so that you can see that intermodal also becoming a success. You will have no waste in some of the resources we have in the hinterland. And with our devolved nature of Kenya, the way we are in various counties now, you will see now that each county headquarters will be connected with a paved road.
With more to come, Kenya Rural Roads Authority remains committed to see the LVSR 10,000 program to the end and staying true to their mission and vision to leave a lasting impact on rural Kenya for generations to come.
For KERRA, we want to ensure that there is accessibility to bring our produces, which are there. Kenya is an agricultural land, and if you go back, because I'm older, you'll find that we ranked with New Zealand, with Australia, with Argentina in agricultural productivity. Yet you find now that certain areas, because of inaccessibility, cannot even have food and other things to eat. So the role of KERRA in the low volume seal roads is to provide that accessibility so that that which is grown by farmers does not go to waste.
We are working tirelessly to serve the Mwananchi and to make sure that there's value for money for all these road projects.
In the next 5 to 10 years, I'm very sure that Kenya will be enjoying quite some commendable infrastructure. And I know that it will open up a lot of communities, it will open up a lot of areas, especially in the rural. People will be able to take their products to market. Hospitals will be more accessible, schools will be more accessible, and generally, economic growth will continue steadily because you're building capacity by building roads. You're enabling people to be able to move from point A to point B.
You can see that already the impact is already there. The key thing is to make sure they are sustained, they are maintained. And so that's why we have, through the fuel levy program, allocated funds every year to the 3 agencies, KERRA, KERRA, and KENHA, to make sure we don't just do the roads and forget about them. We make sure we do them, but we maintain them on an annual basis. And so to make sure that the cost of maintenance in the future becomes a lot mitigated.
But I want to thank serikali ni kwa sababu ya kazi ambayo imefanya. Tunawatolea kofia tukisema kwamba muendelee hivyo.
KERRA, connecting devolved Kenya.